Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Play GhostGG, and we are continuing on with some more reactions on the channel. I've taken quite a little break, because the last time I mentioned that I was sick or I got better. I have a cough now. I still have the cough. It's not going away. So I still have it. I might cough a little bit, but I'm trying to control it. And yeah, we're going to get right back into reactions. I think 2 days ago, this came out, Fable, the first preview, so we reacted to the Fable, it wasn't an announcement. It was like the newest like trailer for it from the Xbox event, I think it was. And then like a day after that, this came out, but I had such a coughing fit that I didn't want to react to it. So we are here now. So let's check it out. It's like 11 minutes, 11 and a half. Let's go.
Let me start by saying that I am borderline blown away by what I've seen from the Fable reboot so far. New Fable developer Playground Games already had my trust. This is a studio that has produced nothing but one open-world masterpiece after another, but after learning a lot more about what the team
Forza
has
games,
in
right?
store for its resurrection of one of Xbox's biggest franchises, I'm even
I played them very little,
but
the ones that I played are like
Playground
gorgeous,
has
ridiculously
turned the
gorgeous.
Forza Tech engine into a medieval British postcard. Combat is multi-layered. 1,000 NPC townsfolk are waiting to be romanced, co-parented with, divorced from, and landlorded over, and there are chickens abound just waiting to be kicked.
Yeah, let's kick a chicken.
Alongside Fable's big coming out party at the recent Xbox Developer Direct, I also spoke with game director Ralph Fulton about the choices the studio has made with this revival, so there's lots to discuss. But first, if you'll permit me, a quick Fable history lesson.
Alrighty. How we got here. Man, I remember Fable growing up.
Right out of the gate,
loved it so much.
In the early 2000s, Fable was always fantastic, even if its early days on the original Xbox got a little extra scrutiny because its director at the time, legendary strategy game developer Peter Molyneux, made crazy promises about players planting acorns that would grow into full-size trees over the course of the campaign. But while that lofty systemic boast never came to be, the game that Lionhead delivered was nevertheless a rich, textured, uniquely British fairy tale that players could meaningfully affect change in. Whether their good deeds manifested a literal halo over their heads, their sheer evil caused actual horns to sprout from their skull, or they got married to a townsperson and lived a whole other life outside of the bigger picture quest within the world of Albion. Lionhead arguably perfected the formula in the Xbox 360 sequel, adding a dog who'd be by your side throughout the story, and Fable 3 tweaked it further still while making the questionable in hindsight decision to move the timeline forward by 500 years, thereby changing the entire look and feel of Albion.
Oh wow,
And then Microsoft, well, they royally screwed the franchise up by trying to turn it into a 4v1 multiplayer game that cost the studio its entire existence. That's a story for another day.
I remember Fable Legends.
Then, the franchise has been dormant for over a decade. Enter Playground, who produced smash hit after smash hit in Microsoft's Forza Horizon driving series. Fulton told me that Playground was looking to expand and build a second team after Forza Horizon 3. Quote, I don't remember who said the word Fable first, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, that has to be it. That fits so perfectly. It's a series that we adored here and still do.
Fable 3 was the game that I played the most. Fable 1 and 2 I played a little bit of it because it was a little bit further away from when I started playing video games a lot. And then Fable Legends I remember, but I didn't play it.
Working on Fable to pick that up, it had to be a British studio. And the fact that we had this great working relationship, the fact that we were making this game, Forza Horizon, that was increasingly important and successful, and had this ambition to scale and to grow, it went pretty fast after that. The studio's adoration for the series shines through in the gameplay it's shown so far. There are hobs and balverines to slay, swords to wield, and spells to cast, sure.
Combat looks very smooth.
And the British charm look to be there. Look no further than
it's like modern time combat, right?
Reverting the
modern
back
gaming
to their
combat.
original form, but still flapping their arms and clucking. Or the chicken armor. You even start the game as a child just like you did in the originals.
Yeah.
But where Playground is winning serious points with Fable fans like me so far is in its commitment to the game within the game. The town management aspects baked
when
into
they mentioned
Fable's
that, I was like,
urban areas.
I
You'll
don't
be able to
remember
buy
it too well
property,
from Fable 3 because I was still
literally
young when I
all of
played it.
If you can come up with enough gold, apparently. and
But
become
I
a
remember there
beloved
being that kind of
landlord or
aspect,
a
but I just never got
loathed
into it.
slumlord.
I started
Not to
getting into
mention
those type
a
of
kind
aspects in video
boss
games
or a
later on in
horrible
life,
boss, should you
and
purchase any
I love it whenever
businesses.
it's in a game
You can also
nowadays.
date and marry all of them, have kids with them, and should it come to it, get divorced. There are also jobs to partake in, like blacksmithing. Where the new Fable breaks from the old one is in the morality. No longer will it be so black or white, Fulton told me. You won't manifest that halo or sprout those horns. Instead, individual people in each city or town will form their own opinion of you based on how you treat them. Meaning you could be a rich twat, in Fable's own words, while getting hailed as a saint in another one. Better still, one of my least favorite aspects of modern role-playing games, procedurally generated content and all of the generic time-filling tedium it brings with it, is nowhere to be found in Fable. Instead, Fulton told me that every NPC is a unique, handmade, and fully voiced character. That is so refreshing these days.
No wonder
that it
this game
gets me
took so long, eh?
excited to talk to as many of them as I possibly can once I get a build of Fable in my hands. That goal to make each hero's story unique extends to the larger world of Albion, too. Remember the 2023 Fable teaser that introduced us to Dave, a giant? It turns out that the whole setup for the new Fable isn't a Jack and the Beanstalk story. Instead,
that's just a mission.
Dave is, quote, an egotistical gardener in a rural village who finds a magic growth formula. So you'll then have to decide how to deal with him. Will you spare him? Hopefully this means finding a way to return him to normal size and befriending him, or slay him, which will see his giga corpse splayed over a hill just outside of town for the rest of your campaign, negatively impacting surrounding home prices in the process.
Wouldn't that mean I
so
can
if
cheaply buy the
Dave's
houses, though?
foray into gigantism is merely a quest, perhaps that means this Fable isn't as much of a departure from the originals lore-wise as that video had led me to believe. In fact, I point-blank asked Fulton whether or not this is a true reboot or if this Fable is in some way connected to Lionhead's originals, and he had quite a telling answer for a supposed non-answer. He told me, quote, I'm going to avoid that question, Ryan, and I'll tell you why. We touch very lightly on story in the Dev Direct piece, but honestly, what we really wanted to do is come out and speak to the detail in the game and answer all those questions that people inevitably have about the game we haven't answered before. We're going to talk more about story later in the year, so I'm not going to say yes or no to that particular question just yet.
Okay.
What I would say is with this being a reboot, it felt really imperative for us to clear the space to tell a story that we want to tell within Albion, which is why this isn't a sequel, for example.
So it is a reboot.
This isn't necessarily connected to the original timeline or events or characters, but we do share lore, and some of that originating lore of the Fable universe is really important to our story. Make of that what you will. So Fable seems to have the look, the humor, the moral choices, the quintessentially British charm. Playground, to put it simply, seems to understand the assignment here. And the studio, as I mentioned earlier, absolutely gets the benefit of the doubt from me on account of its impeccable track record since its inception. What, then, am I worried about? There is one thing, and it's a key part of Fable: combat. To be clear, I'm not in any way judging Fable's combat based on what we've seen so far.
I kind of like it.
How could I? I haven't played it for myself yet. However,
I like how it
for
looks.
as talented as Playground is, it's never made a game with combat before.
I see.
It's not that all of the delightful town management and NPC relationship stuff suddenly means nothing if the combat doesn't deliver, but Fable will have a big problem if battling Balverines isn't a blast. Oh, and I suppose I'll be honest and share one actual disappointment with what I've seen of Fable so far. The fact that horses seem to be your only four-legged companions. After the big reveal was decidedly dog-free, I asked Fulton about the decision to
Oh.
ditch the dog, and he admitted, quote, "There are some folks on the team that were relishing me getting this question because I cut it a while back. You know what? For development reasons, right? I don't need to go into any more detail than that, except to say there are a substantial number of people on the team who have
Yeah.
yet to forgive me for that decision."
I mean, understandable,
I know
because
full well that game
having a dog
development is
companion will
extremely
always be
difficult, and that
a
Fulton
plus.
probably has
Always.
a very
Or any kind
defensible
of
reason for
four-legged
not moving
companion will always be a
forward with
plus, right?
Fable 2's signature feature. It stung a little extra when he told me that Fable 2 was his favorite of Lionhead's original trilogy, but as a player, I'm still allowed to be bummed out by it. Here's hoping it's first on the new features list for the sequel, should we get that far. On the whole, though, I am truly, genuinely excited and optimistic about the new Fable. I've long felt that, particularly in Playground's hands, Fable has the highest ceiling in terms of game quality and finally delivering Xbox and, I guess, PlayStation, as it turns out, a PlayStation Studios-like Game of the Year award-contending single-player game of anything currently in Microsoft's massive first-party games portfolio. And though we don't yet have a specific release date to count down to, Playground is promising that we'll be playing it this fall, which basically means before November, since it would be patently stupid to try and relaunch this franchise after the better part of a decade in development, right up against the incoming game industry meteor known as Grand Theft Auto 6.
Let's see if that comes out this year.
Here's hoping that the new Fable lives up to its sky-high potential. For more on Fable, don't miss our live...
Okay, there's the first preview there, ladies and gentlemen. I am excited for the game. I forgot how fun Fable was growing up. I didn't play 1 and 2 like that, but 3 I put hours into. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I really just enjoyed the whole Fable landscape, right? Because it's a story. It's a fable. A fairy tale. And we haven't had a Fable game in so long. Like I said, Fable Legends was 2016 or something? No, before 2016, something like that. I can't remember. But it's been a long time since we had a Fable game, and I really like that landscape, and it looks like it is very much a Fable game, modernized, with some changes here and there, but like it looks fun to me. I don't know. I have to see a lot more of it. I got to see like the open world and the exploration, because that's gonna be part of the game, obviously, and I just want to see how much more there is before I really say like this is gonna be fucking amazing or anything. But yeah, till then, that's this reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.